Alright, today we're going to go over the Ve-300x2 from Electronics. It's a very nice thermostat. That box, and in the box you are going to have the power cord, two probes because it's a 2-zone thermostat, 900 watt capability. Here's the front. In the back, it's pretty simple. Zone 1, Zone 2, obviously your power cord, and the fuse, in case you blow that. And then Zone 1 and 2. Obviously you're going to match these up. So I mean, set up as far as getting it fired up couldn't be much easier. And then you will, anyway, the 300 times 2 is pulse proportional. I believe it can do the on-off as well, but it's just not what you want for ball pythons. You want the pulse. You definitely want the pulse, because the on-off just has too much fluctuation, and where the pulse is, it just gives it just enough to stay right where it needs to be. So it's smooth, I guess is one way of saying it, versus up and down with the other ones. I have these already. I really like them. Not sponsored, not even close. But I try one thing and it works good. I don't really see a huge reason to change. And these work great for me. Brent has mostly herp stats on his collection, and that's what he started with, and that's what he likes. And you know, there's tons of thermostats out there, so I'm not going to say that this is the bomb. Actually, it could blow up, who knows, but I love them. If I had a complaint, it would be, and you'll maybe see later, is you can't dim it, and that would be super helpful. It'd be kind of cool if you could change the backlighting color, but that's not a necessity. It's mostly dimming it. I will skip ahead and show you how to install this probe on a Super 70 series rack from Electronics as well. Obviously use it on any rack you want, but it's going to be a bottom rack, and I typically don't put it in the middle tub. I put it in one up from the bottom if it's a bottom rack on a VE6, and because there's only 5 tubs in the 70, you can get away with the middle. But I'm in Maine, and it's colder here, and you know, it's just not as nice. So I typically am going to put this in the second one up from the floor. But if it's a second stacked rack or the Zone 2 on top, I'm always going to put it in the middle, because you know, temps are way more stable up there. And don't ever set your rack like right on the floor. You know, get some airflow under it. I often think that the bottom rows of racks should have, you know, maybe a little bit more tape in them. They just never heat as good. But anyway, that's not what this is about. So I'll drive my arms in there and show you how I install this, and then we'll skip ahead to the setup. Alright, so this part isn't very easy to film. Probably sound like I'm talking into a cave, because I am, but either way, like if you ever, and I'm laying on my stomach, either way, if you have a rack of this style, you can set it up this way. But if not, just remember, as a rule, you've got your heat tape on any of your racks, so just remember that, just set it up on the heat tape similar. So basically, the hole back there, obviously this probe is going to come through right here, and you're going to put it on the heat tape. And I typically always try to make it touch the black, because that's where the heat comes from, and the white is not. So I want, direct contact with the heat source. And then all situations are different. You'll have to tune it later. You know, you can't always just set one at 90 and have the hot spot be at 90. You're gonna have to use your temp gun and get it tuned and set the thermostat accordingly. But I'm going to jump up to the next level up, where I actually already have it installed, and show you how I did it. And now we're back up a level here. Ugh, this isn't easy. See how I basically have it coming out of the groove with 2 pieces of tape on it. You know, you don't want the wire popping up in the back. And this piece in the front, to the best of my knowledge, you don't want that like stuck right on the probe. But you can see that how I have it positioned and stuffed in there, that it's touching the black the best I could in this situation, because just where the heat tape, you know, finished. But it's always going to finish in a way you can get it in there. And that piece of tape that I poorly put on actually is from Reptile Basics. It came, you know, in the box. I forgot to mention that. But I'm sure you could use other tapes. But it's on there crooked, because if you've worked on one of these 70s, that's a long ways back there. I'm gonna have to get special tools just to get the dust out of there. I just can't reach it, and I'm 6'1", and it's a long ways. But and we'll jump up to the setup, and I'll go over some of the features that I forgot. And this works for me, and it always has, and I set up all my racks this way, and it works great. Okay, so basically, one thing I left out is the probe where it comes out of the back of the rack. You're going to want to tape that as well, because it will be kind of like a strain relief. It won't want to pull out of the inside. It's a lot better for it. So tape that when it comes out of the back of the rack to the back of the rack. So basically I wanted to kind of show you the 200 as well. That one's powered down, it's less of a distraction. I have plugged it into the back, which I mean I'm sure you guys can do, and I've plugged the power cord in as well. And yeah, I set the time and stuff. I mean, the truth is, this is the one I had, the one I just showed you, and this one's already running. I don't need to set this one up, so I'm just going to show you on this one. So basically, I can figure out how to get my hands in there. Basically, the 200 has just one zone, but it does have the pulse proportion, no night drop. So I say if you only are going to want to run like one rack or something, you know, get that. But let's be realistic, you're not going to have this one rack, you're going to have a ton of them, so go right to this. I'm probably going to take 200 off and put it on a incubator and just keep running 300s. That was the first one I ever bought. But anyways, if I get my hand in there, it's pretty easy to go through the enter menu and the up down, and that's essentially exactly how it works. I tend to button mash a little too much on it sometimes, but you're gonna want to hit let's get her set up right here. That's where you're gonna go to all your possibilities and just scroll through with this plus, and obviously you're gonna hit enter again to go into any one of these modes. Obviously like if you buy the 300 and you're only going to run one rack, back there, and you're only going to run one rack, you might want to just run it on the one zone, which is, you just keep scrolling through there. It's super easy, and that's where you change your mode. Like I'll show you. Oops, done messed that up. Just ignore this. And then I'm back there. The heater mode wasn't fast enough. See, I have it set to proportional. You can go to on off. We don't like that. We're going to stay right on proportional. Enter, and accepts it. That's the same with all the commands. And there's zone 2, proportional, nailed it. Daytime temperature, go in there. Now basically this is where you're gonna set, like I set 89. I gotta remember that. Gotta be kind of fast. And the night drop is not on the 200, it is on the 3. I know I said that, but shoot. So it's hard to see that button right now. So here's where I'm going to set these. I'll just get it going. So that's daytime 1. That's going to be your zone 1. And I had that set to 89, I believe. But it's so simple. You just scroll up and down. And then what's going to happen, you're going to hit enter. There's zone 1 accepted. Then it goes right to 2. And then say you go to whatever you go to. It's so simple. It really is. And that's mostly the feature you're going to use if you're not into the night drop. I'm not. So I'm not even going to mess around going in there because I'm not that great with it. And if you can do all this, you can set the night drop, no problem. Now the reason my numbers, like one of zone 2 is set to 85 and one I think was like 88 or 89. But the reason that is that way is because when I set zone 2 to 85 and I use my temp gun, that's what gets it to 90 on the hot spot at the top. Checked it 10,000 times. That's what gets it to 90. So that's what I set it at. If I set it at 90, it would be super high. So we don't want to do that. And this is actually running 2 VE6s right now. So I shouldn't say the 70, but this is the bottom 6 tubs are zone 2. The top 6 are zone 1 in this particular setup. And those are the numbers that gets me the closest to 90 from top to bottom in all of the tubs based on the probe. You'll never put the probe in identical every time. So you're going to have to do this different. You might just set it to 90 and it might be 105 or something. I mean, I think that's what the heat tape can get to. So it's super important that you have a temp gun. And I'm sure I missed a ton of things. If you want more help with this thermostat or anything, just message us, message on the comments. Like, to get where I run these and Brent runs thermostats, just get in touch with me on Instagram, Ball Brothers Pythons Dale, and I can help you with any questions you have on any of these VE thermostats. Thank you all for the support. Hopefully this helps an owner and a few snakes.